Good morning and welcome to day 128 on the AT. My name is Mosey and this is Rissaroams. Starting the day out with 1.5 miles up to Whitecap, which should be beautiful. It was so chilly last night. Stayed in the shelter because there weren't any tenting options near the shelter. There was a designated campsite a little north of that I passed on the way in, but Alicia in the mountains had left a comment saying that the ground was impossible to get stakes in on far out, and it looked like it, and I believed her. So I stayed in the shelter, met a couple, Panda, Champagne, and their dog Scarecrow this morning. They were very kind. Cool chatting with them. Yeah, not entirely sure where the day will take us. My itinerary has me going to East Chairback Pond, I think, but it may not have the best tenting options. To be honest, I'm thinking about ditching the Durston and getting a freestanding tent because it's been really hard to pitch it on this rocky, rooty, uneven ground. I've never had an issue until Maine, and I hear pretty much all of New England is kind of like this. So we'll see, but it's on the mind. Yeah, so may do 14.5 to there, or I may do 17 to the shelter just past there. Part of me kind of wants to get some miles in because water crossings are coming up and rain is coming tomorrow morning. So nervous about that, but we'll see how things go. I'm just going to listen to my body and go as far as I feel like going. I don't know if you can tell how steep that is. I'm thankful there are stairs, but when I checked, it was like 0.8 miles and almost 800 feet of gain. So we're going straight up the mountain, but it is a nice, cool morning. I'm thankful for that. Once again, thankful for stairs. All right, up here on top of Whitecap, been enjoying the view, having a snack. Saw Tin Man and Scarecrow up here. Checked the weather because I had a little bit of service. I don't think there's any chance of like getting to the water crossings before the rain hits. That's just not going to happen. We're just going to have to deal with it and hope the rain isn't that bad. But I do think I want to try and push the 17 miles to the shelter. I started too late for that, and I think today's going to be a decently difficult day, so it may be very late, but the options are either tent, and rain comes in at 2 a.m. And from what I heard about the tent sites where I was supposed to stay tonight, they're pretty washed out and downhill, so not exactly a good location for a rainy night. So I'd like to push to the shelter. The people said that the walk from the shelter to where I was tenting isn't that bad, so I'm hoping I can do it. But yeah, it's 10 a.m. and I have a little less than 16 miles to go if I choose to do that. So it's gonna be an interesting day, but a beautiful one. The weather is incredible right now. Won't be tomorrow. This does not feel like the Maine I'm used to. This looks like I've been transported back to the mid-Atlantic or the South somewhere. Okay, yeah. Now this looks right. Ooh, this looks like Maine. Hi, buddy. Sorry to disturb. You having lunch? I gotta walk past, okay? So sitting at the first shelter of the day, which was 7 miles from where I started. It is 2 p.m. I moved at about a 1.2 mile per hour pace over the Whitecap range. And if I make it to the next shelter, that's just under 10 miles, 2,000 feet of gain, 2,000 feet of loss. I will be getting there very late, and there's one section that looks pretty sketchy. It's called Rock Slide, but it's like, do I do that in the dark, or do I do that in the rain tomorrow? What's worse? And do I pitch my tent and sleep in the rain at sites that sound like they flood? Or do I hike all day and hopefully get to sleep in a shelter? These are questions that we're asking. I should have woken up earlier. I didn't realize the rain was coming tonight. I thought it was coming later than that, or the next day. So, fun. This guy is very curious. I said hello to him. He was a few feet away and he came right up. Hi, buddy. All right, ate a quick lunch, filtered some water. Now we're back on trail, trying to make up some time while the trail is manageable. I'm feeling good. Like, the weather's fantastic and I feel strong. It's just that last stretch of trail was slow moving. Had nothing to do with, not feeling my best or, the weather getting to me. It was literally just slow trail. But feeling good. We're moving on. Let's see how far we get today. I will say we're making good time. We're back up to like 2 miles an hour. But even 2 miles an hour, it would be very late for me to make it to that shelter. Sorry it's so foggy. Yeah. And I would still have 2,000 more feet of climbing to do today. It's like 3:30 right now. I think we're gonna count our losses. We're just gonna go to the pond and tent and hope for the best. Hope we don't get washed out in our tent site, and hope that we can make it up that rock slide tomorrow in the rain. But yeah, I just don't think it's realistic for me to try and push further than that. I'll probably hurt myself trying to do so. Just a moment of transparency. I was feeling really strong and really capable earlier, and I don't know, it's crazy how quickly things can change. I was trying to make time and I felt like I was flying over those roots and rocks, but still I was only going 2 miles an hour. And now we're back to kind of being slowed down by mud and rocks again. And yeah, it's just kind of disheartening, like how slowly I'm going. Yeah, just kind of feeling a little discouraged at the moment. Yeah, it's just I want to be moving faster, and I just can't, which is common. Everyone I'm talking to is saying that they feel like they're moving even slower. These are no bowers, of course, than when they went through the whites. Like, it is just slow moving trail. But yeah, I think it's just kind of getting to me, like being alone. Like, yeah, I was alone before, but I was in a little bubble and I would run into people, and here, like, I'm not alone. Like, I'm seeing all the no-bowers, but it's like there aren't familiar faces at camp. Like, I'm the only one out here. There was one other guy who started southbound when I did, but he doesn't have his trail legs, and he kept up long enough for us to get our food drop, but he's slowed back down. And I mean, even still, we weren't really hanging out or anything. We were just kind of around the same places. But yeah, anyway, yeah, I'm gonna go climb up that thing. I'm fine, but fell on a rock. Not a big deal. Wasn't slick, just loose. I don't hurt. I'm just having a pity party. I need to get up and get moving again. I'm not gonna lie. I'm probably not even gonna get to the pond until later than I would like. And there's not anywhere to stop in between there. There's no camping allowed in a bulk of that section unless you have like a paid reserved campsite at the Hermitage. But like, you can't camp for a good stretch there. So today's kind of rough. Beautiful morning. Why does that always happen? It's like I have fantastic mornings, and by the afternoon I'm just done. I don't know. Also, I've been dealing with a bloody nose today, which I haven't had happen since the Smokies, and so that kind of stinks too. So as I'm walking and getting frustrated with every little trip or misstep that I have, I had to remind myself Aunt Flo's about to come to visit, and this is not you. These little frustrations making me emotional is not me. It is hormones, and that is normal, and it is okay. And give yourself some grace. Just met a no-bow hiker named Yard Sale, and he was commenting on how nice and cruisy the section of trail that we're currently on is, and I was like, yeah, it's really nice. I'm enjoying the change. I was getting frustrated back there, and he was like, oh yeah, me too. I was like, oh great, things to look forward to. But he did tell me it is pretty cruisy until you get to the river crossing, and then it gets a little rough. And I was saying, yeah, hopefully I can find a place to camp. And he was saying, oh, there are plenty of great spots right where it says you're not allowed to camp on far out. I was like, isn't that always the case? You always see the very best campsites in no tenting zones. Every time. Every time. So I've decided our one goal today is to cross this river up ahead. It's less than a mile. Should be there by 6 o'clock. And then we're gonna find a place to camp. Sounds like there are a lot of sites between here and where I had originally planned to camp today, East Chairback Pond. The problem is So there are like 3 different areas where you cannot tent at or around. And they don't really tell you what around means, you know? They're all pretty close together, but it's like, if I'm 0.1 or 2 from each of these spots I'm not allowed to be at, is that far enough away? I don't know. But we're gonna find this place and stop because I'm tired, and I will wake up early tomorrow, even though it's gonna be raining, and I'll do more miles tomorrow. But excuse me. Yeah, we're done for today. It's been a long one. All right, just did my first real stream/river crossing. It was just below my knee, so not too bad. Nice and gentle flow. So all went well. Wasn't scary. Just had to take my time, be careful. I know I'm probably being dramatic about this, but literally my only fear for this entire trail, genuinely, has been water crossings. All right, so right after I crossed over the river and walked a little ways, there were a few tent sites right by the river. They looked pretty rocky and probably hard to get stakes into. I went just a bit further, crossed from where the trail is over a stream, and then found this lovely little spot. And there is a sign that says, "Kindle no fires." Doesn't say no camping. So we're gonna say that's permission. Guys, oh my gosh, I just went to go use the restroom one last time before I got in my tent for the evening, and a moose ran through the woods. Oh my gosh, it wasn't near me. It wasn't scary, but I've talked to so many people who didn't see a single moose the entire time they were here. I just saw one.